Hello and welcome to WhatMap for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, today is Saturday, which means last night at 6 o'clock was episode 2 of Duvo, my new city build, my first Let's Play for 2 years. So feel free to join me for that one. It's on the channel now, and I'll link it at the end of today's show. Now today's map is a really nice one, with 1 or 2 question marks, more about the load than the map itself. But before we crack on and do that, it's time for your daily reminder. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel. It gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you very much for that. Right, today's glorious map is Sediment Valley by Kent. Now, Kent has done a really good job of a desert map here. Let's have a little look at the start square, shall we? Looks just like that. Okay, and then if we have a look at the resources, you'll notice that it's entirely ore, which apparently works really well with the theme. Having said that, I loaded the theme 3 times, and the first time it came out looking like this, which I think is how it's supposed to look, but with the lack of workshop thumbnails at the moment, all I had to work with was a loading screen thumbnail, which is this, which I think matches up. So anyway, I then reloaded it. Well, I'll get back to that in a minute. Let's have a look at the workshop. So no thumbnails to work with at the moment because Steam is broken. There's plenty enough to read up on here, with the intention of a sediment style, Grand Canyon style valley. All good. Plenty there. We've got the geologic sediment theme by Kent. Done a really good job with that one. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. Can't tell you for sure. A few other bits to subscribe to. Not too big a list. And we are using the Sunday colour LUT for a change. Right, now this is how it loaded up the second time and the third time. I had to reload it a second time because I forgot to load up the asset for today's map. So first time round, well, the map didn't look like this. The map looked more like it did in the loading screen thumbnail. Second time, I was at first intersection. Let me show you quickly this, and that the heights are all good and it's very tidily done. I have no problems with this at all. That's all good. We'll just point out I've spotted a little bit of a blue mantle there. That's about as bad as today's map is going to get. So where were we? Yes, shall we go left? I think we'll go left. We'll take a little peel off this way, head towards the mountains. This runs parallel with the main interstate highway. Anyway, yes, so I loaded up the map, and I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like the look. That's all good, yeah. It was a valiant effort at getting sediments into the rock, that's what I thought. But it just seemed a bit... I seemed weak. So anyway, I then reloaded the map with the asset live as well. That was going to need for today's asset review. And when I reloaded it, it came out looking like this. And this is really nice indeed. I can't make out sediment lines on the mountains so much. I mean, they may be there. It might be subtle. Perhaps that's what subtlety is what I'm supposed to be looking for. Tunnel comes through here and emerges over here. Now we're going to go up into the mountains and see some nice switchback mountain roads. Very well done again. So I'm not entirely sure if the map is supposed to look like this, but then anyway, having loaded it a second time, I then remembered that I hadn't actually done the fly through for the start show sequence. So then I loaded it up a third time and it loaded up like this again. So out of 3 loads, 1 loaded with the sediments very clear, as I showed in the intro sequence, and then the other 2 have loaded like this. I like this. I really do. So I'm reviewing the map as we are seeing it today. I'm going to come across here, take a left at the roundabout and go back down the freeways. It's back parallel with the way that we were travelling a second ago. The first road was just off to the right hand side, closer to those mountains. So yes, if this is the wrong theme, then I would say that Kent has got a bit of a result in the review, because I think the original theme and the way that it loaded, I think that's weaker. I do. Some of the textures, like the sand texture, we'll see a bit slower in a minute, a bit closer up in a minute, especially during the asset review. I would like to have seen, considering how glorious the map is, a 4K texture for the sand. But there wasn't a 4K texture in the original load either. So this is no worse with the sand at all. But I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? I just really like this. Anyway, we're now going to head off towards the other mountains. So I haven't been talking too much about the map, but as you can tell, the road layout and the road network is really quite nice indeed. Nothing to moan about at all. Nothing really to praise, because all I'm doing is saying, yep, another nice road. And that's why sometimes the poorer maps are actually much more entertaining in terms of reviews. Going to go up into the mountains now, and we're going to find a nice little place to pull up and have a picnic. How about up this way, across here, and I could be down at street level, but I think we get a better feel for the map hovering, taking the helicopter route, I guess. Here's a little right turn. Maybe there's a little viewing point up this way that we can go to, and yeah, there's a little one up here. It's not the one I was aiming for. The one I was aiming for had a better view than this. But anyway, now for this. That's right, the asset review section of today's show, and we'll have a look at Truss Roof by Takuma. This is a really nice prop, very useful for many things, including possibly railway sidings, I would suggest. Really nice indeed. Anyway, factoids, because factoids, and possibly time for two. When Princess Margaret, that's the sister, or the late sister of our current queen over here, and Lord Snowdon, who mysteriously disappeared back in, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, when they were courting, they went under the aliases of Norman and Ruby Gordon. Perfectly lovely names. Denmark. Danish pastries do not come from Denmark. There we are. I don't know where they come from, but according to my book, they don't come from Denmark. Truss Roof by Takuma. What a lovely little asset that one is. Let's head back to the map. A little look at the railways. Now, honestly, there's not much to say about the railways. Very American, very straight. A little bit of elevation where they're needed. And I've got absolutely nothing to say about these. So let's talk more about the theme. Well, I've got another moment to talk about the theme, because we're going to be a bit busy after the intermission. So yes, I'm liking the theme here. I am liking the theme as it stands like this. But if I'm matching up that loading screen thumbnail, this is not a match to the loading screen thumbnail. So I think this is a fail. And if it is a fail, it's a fail which was a lucky fail, I think, maybe. So anyway, we're about at the edge of the map. Yeah, you can see just a straight old railroad right the way through the middle. I would say realistic, and I'm happy with it. So there we are. Right, it's time to call on my friend Zach to give me a little bit of a break. Zach, you're up, mate. You're up.
Are you baffled by how YouTubers put detailing on their assets? Are you frightened that something called Anarchy would break your game? Then you need the BonBonB's Beginner Guide to Anarchy. Click the information button now.
And so we have shipping routes, except for we don't, because the rivers are far too narrow and small. But we do have a couple of air routes running right across the map. Can't moan about those. They are perfectly adequate and perfectly fine. No problems at all. Water flow. I'm going to take the longest route from water source to map edge here. And while the rivers are quite narrow and thin and shallow, there is just enough water coming down here, I think, to sustain a city. But I think this is the sort of map where probably we'll be using water towers more than water pumping. So I would probably go with that myself if this was me building on here, which it won't be because it's not my sort of map for building on. What we have in terms of detailing though, this is, sorry for my voice going all croaky, it's life, I know. Lots of river reeds going down here, giving the illusion of a stream, and that then emerges into a water source there. And then we've got this muddy river, the dirty river, running down, which I think just is perfect. Absolutely perfect colours for that. We've got a lot of those fake streams going on with the river reeds. Let's have a little look down here. Now we've got the ruined effect underneath these plants. I think really adds, especially with the low textures of the sand. I think that just makes it a little bit more palatable. My big problem is when you get in really close, the quality of the texture, because this is the sort of map that you want to get in close. It's beautiful. I would prefer that, say A4. I've said it before. I would prefer a 4K texture for the sand. The mountains, I can't quite make out the sediment layers, which is why I think this is loaded up incorrectly. But it's loaded up incorrectly twice now. Now I've told you about this twice now at the very least. So there we are. But I think it looks absolutely piggin' amazing like this, and I'm sticking with it. I think I can see sediment layers, you know, I think I can. There are areas where I can see lines running across, so maybe it is right. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be, and I really do hope it is, because I love it. Plenty of build plane, loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of build plane, with the mountains making sort of like the barriers and areas of interest, getting up there and maybe using some park life stuff as well. So, have you tweeted me yet? Edge of the sofa, at Edge of the Sofa. You got every opportunity to go and do so today. I will tweet back today. I promise you I'll tweet back today. Anybody who tweets me today will get a tweet back. Okay, what we got there? Yeah, we got some of these fake streams. It just gives the illusion of life. I just love it. I love the way that's been done. One last area we haven't had a look at yet. You probably noticed in the background there. And if we head across this way, we have some farms. The pivot hinge, pivot rotation, pivot irrigation. We don't have these in the UK. We don't have space to waste with all these corners that don't get fertilised. But I fully understand why that would be the case here in a desert area, of course. But yeah, pivot irrigation, that's what these are called, and they're done really well. We've also got a really large wind farm on the go here, which is really well done. Good spacing on the windmills there. And of course the solar farm as well, nice and big and really good for bringing power in. So anyway, it takes up a lot of space, doesn't it? Let me just cover that up there. So that's the space it's taking up. Let me just hide all of that now this time. And there we go. Hang on. Hardly takes any space at all. It's just in the corner. Stop moaning, people. Stop moaning. If you don't like it, build somewhere else. It's all good. So anyway, your chance to vote on this map now. Vote on it as you see it, okay? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your votes really do count. We use them at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps? I really hope so. I like it. I really do like it, as you're about to tell with my voting. So aesthetically, I really do like it. My only grumble is I would like a 4K texture for the sand. And that's voting on it as I see it like this. 4K texture on the sand, and this is a 5-star map. Detailing. There was a little bit blue mantle underneath one of the bridges. And I allow for one minor error on each map. It's 5 stars. 5 stars for detailing. That's allowing for that little error. As for gameplay potential, well, you've got loads. There's loads of build plane. There's a really good highway network. There's a good straightforward rail network. There's plenty of water to draw on all over the place. Honestly, I think for a desert build, this is a 5-star gameplay map. Not one that I'll be playing myself, but I can see a lot of you subscribing to this right off the bat. And it gets the BonBonB seal of approval. I have no question on that one. 4 times this week I've done that. It's been a really good week for the seal of approval. So, you want to go back if you missed this week's shows, go back and check them out. But I would avoid Wednesday. I would avoid the day that Wednesday... I think Wednesday's show broke YouTube, as you probably know, those of you that were trying to see the show on Wednesday and it wasn't appearing. And that was because that was the day that YouTube was broke. Yeah, I think it was that map that did it. You probably want to watch Wednesday's map now just to see how bad it was. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for the chart show and for another tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you then.